Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and you are watching the last in the series of Transport Fever Mainline. Actually, that's not wholly true. There is a live stream to come to round out the series, and then there is a special Tracks and Beats review of the Mainline idea and how it's panned out. Anyway, we're looking out across the river at Caprica at the moment, which is where we focused last time around on setting up this kind of goods arrangement here. It's rather splendid to look at. Doesn't accomplish a whole lot right now, but splendid to look at. It's not a bad place to start. I can't resist it. I mean, look, it's just sort this business out, would you? Anyway, the festivities for the end of the series are going to kick off immediately after the bombastic intro, where I'll have something splendid for you to look at, and then we'll do one last piece of tinkering before the end of the ride. Right then, the last piece of tinkering in question is to actually hook up the goods station here to a line so that it can receive some goods. Now then, I've done a little bit of a pre-scout on this one. And let's turn the common API off here. We won't need that. Yes, I've done a bit of a pre-scout, and the best place that I've found to look at is over in Shermer. We'll go very limited on the icons at the moment because it can get just a touch carried away. So we'll leave that turned off for now. Here is the Shermer, which one? Sidings. Is a station that I've decided to hook up to, purely because it gets a really good variety of different products, which should feed Caprica quite nicely. Now, the way I see it is we'll run from here, we'll go through the side of the mountain there, and then probably go around that side of the coal mine before linking up with the station down there. Faster routes may be available, friends, but this one I think should it should build things up quite nicely. Not least of all because of the range of businesses that actually operate in and out and around the Caprica area. So the first problem that we're going to face is that the station here can't be expanded. I have had a look at it already. It won't expand, so instead I'm going to have to bulldoze the thing. There is a train in there at the moment, though, so we'll wait for that to get out of the way. Now I'm going to remove all of the ground-based decoration because, well, I can't remove the tracks while that's there, and that's kind of important. So what I'm thinking of doing is turning this station into a 5-tracker, and then actually continuing quad tracking through the tunnel here up to the next station along. And we've got another train coming in. Well, all right. Well, you know what? It's the last in the series. We might as well watch a few things rolling past since we're in the area. What have we got going down there? There's a Scepter, just charging past there, merrily on its way, and I bet it's carrying a good number of passengers. It is. I didn't know that for a fact, but I do now. Splendid. Well, that's running nicely. Come on, where's the? Have we got any more inbound? Because I might stop them in there. Wait for it. Tracks. You stop there, sunshine, because we want to clear through here so I can get on with it. So I'm going to remove all of the track in the tunnel here, and replace that with with something more appropriate, frankly. Going to quad track all the way through, which should enable me to remove the bottleneck. Those of you who remember back a while ago, massive bottleneck going on here. So with a bit of luck, we'll improve that situation dramatically. If we're not lucky, we won't improve it at all. But such is life. You don't want to go, do you? Or are you still loading? Are you loading, or are you waiting for a free path? All right, come on then, Tiger. Get through. Get it done. I don't know why you're crossing onto this line, but I suppose you've got your reasons. Yeah, very good. Very good. You should have just stayed on that track and then split later on. Maybe we can fix that as well as part of this minor overhaul. You never know. Right. Okay. Once this is done, we'll get rid of the station, and we'll make some headway. Come on, people, get out of my face. Got another one coming. Look, that one there. Stop. There you go. Good. Managed to at least get one of them stopped. Hold on, is that another one coming as well? That's the problem with the main line. Oh, flipping heck. There's always something coming. And we're clear. Right. Cease operations. We may need to do a little bit more unpause in a moment. But we can't... well, I'm going to have one more swing at it, but I don't think this will upgrade. No, not without... not with what's laid in there at the moment. So we'll get rid of it. I mean, that's the risk you have when you've got an unlimited budget and a bit of a fixation for bulldozing things. Is very few pre-existing services get to remain intact. Right, okay, now then, I'm going to move this as well so that I can line this up a little better. Now, there's a train in there somewhere, but I'm sure it will figure it out once we've got systems underway again. Right, smooth this a little bit. Now, it does have a bit of a downhill slope, but I'm very confident that we can get this to fit without any problems whatsoever. We need a 400 meter station, high speed, 5 tracks. Oh, and it's going to need to be a little on the bendy side as well. So we'll do curve it that much. How does that look? Close. Maybe a smidge more bend on that side. And then if we give it just the slightest of rotates, I think that's going to do the business for us. Now, we're unable to align the terrain at the moment, and to be honest, it's built this ruddy great bank there, but we can fix that if we adjust the slope and we give it a fairly severe amount of gradient on there. See, it just fits. Anyone would think that I'd already recorded this episode and that there was a power cut while I was recording it that led to me losing all the footage. I don't know what would make you think that, but certainly that would be a good reason why I'm finding this so very easy to do. Right, okay, run you down there. Hold on, is that the right one? No, it's not. It's the wrong one. So because we're running this up, down, the good news about freight is it's forever been assigned correctly in that regard. We shouldn't have too much of a trouble getting this lined up correctly. Too much of a trouble? What language do they speak in your country? Right, and we'll fling that one up there. Lovely. Now, we've got 6 broken lines. There will be fewer broken lines presently once I connect all of this business back up again. Now then, I don't know if there is one of them in the tunnel, but if there is, he's about to find himself shoved back some. We're going to get rid of the tunnel entirely. This is never going to work. Not with a train in the way. Well, never going to work is what they said about the whole concept, and the whole concept is working-ish. It is working-ish, isn't it? Isn't it working-ish just so well? Yeah, no, construction's not possible. Okay, right, what have we got? Can I keep nudging you? No. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah, got it. Right, good. I want to bulldoze this all the way back to the station, because then I can line it up with the new track that's coming through. So if we now push out from here, and we'll use this as the foundation for the new tunnel, and then snap that onto this one. Good show. And then obviously you can come in parallel, and then snap onto your platform as well. Now I'm going to merge the other 2 lines onto. I'm going to snap them onto this bit of track. That way we won't have double tunnels. Now sometimes double tunnels can look quite good, but more often than not they just end up giving you clipping landscape all over the place, which is no fun for anybody. But I think in one of the earliest series I did of Transport Fever, I built a ruddy great 8-track tunnel departure from one station or another, and it looked amazing. It really was a phenomenal thing to look at. The only real downside to it was there was never the weight of traffic that would have really made it come into its own. So I think that's something that I'm kind of keeping in mind as I'd like to take another swing at getting that right, because I think if it's correctly done, it could look rather terrific. Right, there we go. That's all the track laid back in, and you will notice we've still got 5 broken lines, and that's going to be due to platform assignments rather than anything else. So the first thing we'll do to kind of alleviate that is we'll fling on some additional signalling. Actually, my intention there had been to fling it on with one-way indicators just to keep these jokers under control primarily. Right, stick that one in there. Turn one way on. You'll find life is a lot less complex if you do that. And we did have a crossover in there that I've removed. Now, it shouldn't have been necessary. I'm going to leave it off, and hopefully we won't need it. if we do need it, I'll probably find out about that in due course. But now that we're running now that we're running 4 tracks up here instead of just 2, we should avoid any further queuing that was occurring here before. I'm going to give those an extra set there, just so you've got a little shove forwards to keep things rolling along. Because even though you may end up with the tail end of your monster goods train, and well, I mean, my goods trains aren't actually that monster, but even though you may end up blocking the next signal set, you do still get additional room to move into, which keeps things rolling along rather better. No. Yes. Right, smooth all of this up. And then we'll look at why these lines are complaining, and we will stop them complaining through the application of a little bit of reworking their routes. There you go, that looks marvellous. Okay, cool. Right, okay, who's broken, why are you broken, and how may I ease your pain? In a field of dreams kind of a way. Easing your pain is what I'm all about. So we've got... train 93 is jolly confused. I've probably trapped it in a one-way section, and then we've got the what have we got here? We got freight gondola Widdershins, which is this green number here. So you've gone from Sherma on platform 1. That's legal, but you can't get to it from here. Because there's no crossover. Okay, so if we were to say on the previous effort you were going to be platform 4, what is this? Pleasant View Exchange, platform 4, and then everybody's happy. Good. Well, that was effortless. Next up, freight gondola Spinwood Mill Spindler Frindler Spindly. Spindly Frindler is coming in from Asgard North on 1. Now, it's not 1 over here, is it? It's going to be, let's say 4. Asgard North coming into Shermerside is on 4. And what do you know, that one is now also fixed, which means that we bring this one in on 3. There you go. See? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We've still got a confused train. I'm just going to check the tracks here to make sure that everything is assigned. It's not. Let's stick that turquoise one on 3. 3. No, 2. 2. There we go. And it's broken. Okay, right. Well, why are you hosed? Because at the exchange, you're coming through on that one. Okay, we'll move in 1 then. Whatever you are at the exchange, 4. Move to 3 on the exchange, and then you'll have no problems at all. Right, train 93 is something of a ghost train at the moment. If we unpause, let's turn you around, and then let's turn you around again, and let's turn you around again. You're stopped. I do beg your pardon. That would explain why it wasn't working. I'd frozen it in place. Right, okay, so theoretically that should work as well as it did before, if not slightly better. I see no reason why it wouldn't work better, given that it's got plenty of space for throughput, and each of the lines I've given their own platform. Alright, we'll leave that going and see where it gets us. But already we've got the traffic coming in, we've got some freight building up here already. That's all grand. Right, next job is to get track 5 here aligned in such a way that we can get round to Caprica, which is just over there to the right. So what I originally intended to do with this was to swing down and get under the passenger bridge. However, I can save you. I can save you the moments that I spent doing that in the last effort at recording this. It doesn't work. Even if you go maximum downhill, you still can't get out there in good time. Now, I'm tempted to helix it, but actually I found that that it is possible to stick quite a natty bridge in here. I said it is possible. It's because you're going downhill. Right, if we then bring you uphill, then you can prove to the lovely people who are watching that this is possible. Now, the only downside to it, and it's a very moderate downside, is that you do end up with a little bit of a raised track situation. So if we look at that, you'll see it's only just clearing the electrification there. If we keep going up, there you go. That's about right. It looks tremendous from this angle. Obviously, we're going to use the bridge of choice these days. In fact, we possibly need to escalate a little further. There you go. Just a touch. How's that look? Yeah, ooh, just about. We've probably got a bit of girder embedded in the bridge, or we've used the bridge as a replacement for the. Don't question me. And then we'll stick that in there, like so. And then coming off here as well, we'll double track this because the intention is to run a pair of services, not just one. We'll run 2 trains up here. So as much as I don't need to really double track everything, I am a fan of double tracking everything. So I'm gonna kind of pursue that as an objective. Swing it back a bit. See if you can't get doubled up. With laughter. No. Just doubled up at all would be fine. There you go. That's good. And then we've got a bit of snapped at the end, which means that this should sail across no problem at all. No clipping of pillars or any rubbish like that. You're just happily across to the other side of the track like that. That's pretty good. It's just a little too low. But as you can see already, it is actually pretty high. This is not a low bridge. As you can see, this is not a low bridge. Now, we don't want to decrease the height too greatly because we've got to get through this side of the mountain here and then swing over round that way. That in itself is going to prove to be challenging. How do you know? Trust me, I have a little experience with this regard, and it is going to be just ever so slightly challenging. Right, now if we come out over here, where are you altitude-wise? You are below level, so if we bring you up to there, then you're emerging at exactly ground level. Perfect. Now it's a big old bend of a loop of a circle of a cycle of a something or other, but it looks rather good if you can forgive the egregiously tall bridge that it has to traverse in order to get to this tunneled section. I'm pretty sure we can all forgive a traversing bridge of that kind. I mean, it is serving a purpose after all. Go gently, go gently. Bridges of this length are how you crash the game. You know that. You've got a terrain alignment collision going on as well. And that's going to be because you hadn't snapped the track together before starting the tunnel. You wally. Okay, right, well, we'll just do it again. Right, okay, there you go. You telling me that's just going to work this time? Well, actually, it's probably not going to work this time. We'll go piecemeal. We'll do a little bit at a time. Just make sure we don't miss a bit. All right, well, it doesn't look like you missed a bit. Be quiet. It looked like you got it wrong. Right, good. Okay, so now the biggest challenge that's going to come in the near future, I say, using my clairvoyant hat, is actually getting the trains to run up and down it from the depot. Because the depot is, well, obviously we're still running out of our single depot. And I'm very fond of the single depot concept. It has worked really quite adequately. Now, I mean, it's not been the quickest way to deploy trains to further flung areas of the map, but it has got them there eventually, and that in itself is something. So it's maybe not cause for celebration, but neither is it a reason to to sob uncontrollably into one's beer. Right. Okay, right. Now, next trick, we've got to get over here. Now then, the best way to get over a bridge is to bulldoze the bridge. And then relay it again afterwards. Also, we'll get rid of all of this lot. There you go. Yeah, there was another truck in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure I just pushed it into the Twilight Zone. Right, now, the dream is to get over this track using a bridge in a way that then lines up nicely with the station. So if we smooth these lumps out here, it will give us a reasonable attempt to do so. Now we've got to relay all of that road because the road freight connections that we've got, well, they're kind of relying on it. So if we go up to 3 like that. Now I use this kind of instant bridge approach. I use it regularly these days because it is properly helpful. I don't know if I've ever spelt out exactly how to do it, but in case you're wondering, it is page up and page down. And you're not limited to just placing bridges either. You can use it to kind of pre-build a tunnel and all sorts of useful things. So it's very good if you just want a flat raised bit of track to go over or under something like this. It really does save quite a lot of faffing about with, gently adjusting gradients and that kind of thing. No. Let's get you back a bit there, Tiger, and see if you can't do a slightly smoother connection to the bit of bridge there. 132 is faster than the train is likely to go, but that's no excuse for putting a swan neck in the middle of a perfectly straight piece of track. What about that? I would say that was worse. Okay, well, come on in. What's it going to take? Well, it's going to take getting rid of quite a bit of the tunnel and then changing the approach vector. You're just making words up now. Aircraft have approach vectors. I mean, the space shuttle. That's an approach vector-y kind of a vehicle. This is... You're talking about a bit of train track. Yeah, I know. Trust me. This will help us vector in effectively. See my vector and take your scorn elsewhere. Okay, there we go. Suitably vectored there. Get around there and that's it. Yeah, and where's the double? You've left the double track under a bit of road. That's fatal. I think you've got away with it, but even so, that's not the best place to do it. Right, good. So that's got that plumbed in. Now, because we're going to run trains in both directions, wait for it. We're not going to run trains in both directions. Very good. What are you going to do? Because we're running 2 trains on the same route and it reverses at this station. Very good. We're going to need a crossing for them here. And for reasons best known to the game, it's allowed me to do that. Quite often it won't allow me to do that. Instead it will throw up all manner of excuse as to why one is not permitted to do that kind of thing. But today is not that day. Right, now then, I think what I'll run alongside here is the bit of road that we need. You think large country? I don't really. But you've also got to get under there as well. So the ideal would be a bridge that sinks and gets under that one to get over there. Yeah. Well, can I tell you one of the things that's not going to happen? Go on. That is not going to happen. Okay. All right. Well, we'll improvise and find a solution. That's nice. Yeah. I wonder if we can do it one lower. I mean, we're chancing it a little. Oh, we can do it one lower. Right, okay. Select the same bridge material. You can't have it. Select green bridge then. If we can't have the one I want, we'll go with one that I always go towards because it's easily one of the more attractive. Now I know some of you disagree with me on that front, but it's my show. I'll pick whichever bridge I please. Right, okay. Now then, bang that up there, and then you perform some kind of majestic, swooping, curvy, whatchamacallit, and connect onto there without making it look awful in the process, if you'd be so kind. How about we do that? Now the reason for doing it that way is it means that we'll get the same angle that we had before, which is a good angle, and then we'll have a little bit more control when it comes to actually connecting up at this corner section. Now, this of course is the point at which the amount of control I have makes precious little difference, and it ends up looking dreadful anyway. But, you know, one can dream that by doing it in this approach, it ends up looking better. I'm pretty certain it will. I have ultimate faith in my ultimate ability to ultimately pull this off. And you know what? While I'm at it, this bridge that doesn't work, I'm going to get shots of it. I'm going to put it straight back in. But the health and safety boys have been on to me, and they've said, no, you can't have that amount of gappage going on. So we'll get rid of the gappage and put some modern concrete down, which is far more robust and less likely to get me sued by a trucker who momentarily loses his control over his vehicle, spirals out of control, and instead of careening off the edge into a grassy grave there, will instead, well, it won't do any careening for starters. We don't encourage that kind of behaviour. No, instead he'll bounce into the marvellous steel safety barrier, which will leave him far happier and possibly still alive. Right, there you go. Connect that up onto there, and this is, I mean, this is properly ugly. Yeah. Do you think you can improve it? To be honest, I've spent enough time faffing around making truck stops look halfway decent. I'm just going to leave that one alone. Plus, you've got this to contend with as well. I mean, if you were that concerned about ugly, you'd have made a better transition from 2-lane to 4-lane highway. Can't say I disagree with you there, Sunshine. Right, okay, now then, next trick, get under here. You've arguably left yourself quite a mission here to accomplish this. We're going to switch back to 4 carriageway road deal thing. All the words there. Yes, all of them. And then we'll do something like that. Yeah. Actually, I've got a better idea. You're going to do this, aren't you? Right. So we're going to, as if to demonstrate the tunnelling prowess of this system, we're just going to do a quick underpass. And that see, it should be low enough, but it doesn't want to allow it. Maybe I started a little too close. Maybe it's because it hadn't got a surface connection. Nope, it's none of those things. Let's go one deeper. I really don't want to go one deeper, but I will. Yep, there you are. There. Are you satisfied with that? Hold on. You don't collide. Don't. What are you colliding with? There's precious little for you to collide with. I guess it's the station that is getting in the way. All right, go the other way. All right, okay. Come on, this isn't hard. This is easy. Okay, all right. Well, hold on. What if we were to make you skinny? Maybe a slimline road would find this far less of a challenge. The other possibility is that I'm going underneath the diamond crossing there, and it thinks, well, that's too much action for anybody to handle. Yeah, you see, it's done it first time if you go over there. The only thing it really leaves you to figure out is how you're going to connect this bit of road here up with there. And by drawing that approach, no, you give too much curvature. All right, okay, yeah. Go up here this way a little. I can't see this working elegantly. Well, that worked. Was it elegant though? No, it really wasn't elegant. Okay, bulldoze that, and then should we pull this bridge back a bit? I don't think you can. I think you're rather lumbered with what you've got there. We'll put in a small little bit of road there, and then we'll bring you round like so, which leads to an elegant, if somewhat steep curve, and then we'll bring you round here, which leads to a slightly less elegant curve. It's more of a right angle, really. Yeah, it is. So if you want it to go a bit like that, how much swan necking? Only a very minor amount of swan necking is required. So much so that with just well, I would say maybe 45 seconds of tree gun would be sufficient that you would overlook it and just kind of go, oh, don't the trees look nice? And you'd completely ignore the fact that that's not the most geometric of turns that we've got going on there. But I'm sure we'll be fine. Now, I'm going to use streets to connect up to the bit of road there, because the optimist in me says maybe someone will move in. Well, I mean, we have got someone moved in up there, but frankly, by the time you get to here, I think you're really pushing it in terms of the desirability of this piece of real estate. So, good luck with that. And then we'll just do, just a little bit of trees. Not to conceal the fact that it's not flawless, because it obviously is flawless, and the more trees we put in there, the more flawless it looks. And then after you've done your camouflaging section, right? So, I mean, the initial beautification, then you need to put more in to make it look like you haven't just planted a copse of trees around a piece of dubious road building. There you go. See, so you want to carry it on a little bit. So it all... Oh, yeah. See how much overhang onto the train track you can actually get there. You banana brain fool. Right, okay. Well, it's okay. I'll fix it. I'll go back and I'll cherry pick the trees that I want rid of. Also, you need to connect this bit of road. Oh, yes. Well, maybe this will ride to our rescue when it comes to making this corner look intentional. Don't count on it, but, we've got to cling to something. Here we go. Right, out of there. Oh, actually, that works quite well. And onto there. There you go. Look at that. It's almost like the trees are superfluous at this point, but to be honest, I was having that much fun with them. I'm going to put some more back in. There you go. Oh, yes. Super, super, super. There you are. Right, yeah. And then you dot a few around to just make it look like, it was like this before. And there's been precious little human intervention that has added these trees into the mix. This was all procedurally generated when the map was initially constructed. I'll bang a few more around here just to show that they're all local. There you go. See, and then you end up with something that looks au naturel to a degree. Right, now then, let's get rid of the clipping trees, if in fact there are any. That one certainly looks like it might be a hazard, so we'll get a shot of that. This little one's okay, just. That one isn't. That one, no, I'm afraid you're out of here, sunshine. There we go. Right, good. That is now plumbed in. Have I missed any bits of road? No, I rather think I've actually got it there. You did miss this piece of road. That's me being optimistic into the future. Well, stop being optimistic into the future. I think the future is... excuse me. I think the future is very much upon us here in the 28th century. Yes. It is. Okay, now then. That is now properly set up. So I shall bang in the freight route itself, and then we've got the difficult bit. Oh yeah, this was all the easy bit. You're looking at the wrong station. Okay, see, without the station names on, you're flummoxed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Asgard. How sure? It could be Hogsmeade. Not that sure then, huh? Right, okay. Now, here we go. That's that one. I recognise that. Yeah, that's that. So that is Asgard. Okay. Then we're coming around here. Then this one is... No, that's Asgard. That's definitely Asgard. That was Hogsmeade. That's Asgard. This is Sherma. So we came from here. So we want to finish, unsurprisingly, here. Now then, the challenge that we have ahead of us now is... let's give this a name. Supply... Caprica is actually getting a train from the depot out onto this line, because it's not going to do that without a fight. Right, okay. Now, I don't actually need very many signals on this route at all, because I'm only flinging a couple of trains down it, and therefore the ideal is going to be that each train arrives at a station, but they arrive at opposite stations. before commencing their turnaround to come back again. No. I don't know what you had. Don't know what you had in mind there, but I haven't got it in mind. So right now, this entire route runs completely in isolation. There is no way to get to it from anywhere. Now, I think the smartest route is going to be to take a branch off the existing goods line. If we get that rolling again. Yeah, I apologise for running at a high speed, but sometimes you just got to get a train out of the way. Right, so if we then go for something of this kind, I'm going to need to get rid of this signal. There you go, and then off from there out to here. Right, now that connects it up. The only question is, will a train I fling out the depot now be able to find its way there? Because if it doesn't, then, and I'm only speculating here, then I'm probably going to have to spend about an hour and a half carefully moving it from route to route until I can actually get it onto a sliver of track that I've just plumbed in. And you really wouldn't want that. It doesn't make for compelling entertainment. So, right. Let's buy a train. Now then, I've got a particular locomotive picked out for this one, and no, it's not the big boy. I know you're all going to want to see the big boy in action because, well, let's face it, it is a very big train and it does cause an awful lot of smoke and it's jolly impressive. But no, if you want it, that's what the live stream's for. The live stream, incidentally, while we're waiting for this to load, the live stream is on April the 12th. And that's 2019. For those of you watching in the future, I'm afraid you've missed it by at least a year. So we're going to run. You'll see it when I see it. And it's in here somewhere. It's definitely in here somewhere. There we go. It's the Sleipnir. Your pronunciation may vary, which is it's a tremendous looking loco, and I've picked it up. It's in early development at the moment. It might have hit release on the Steam Workshop already, but it was proffered in my direction as, hey guy, you do those video things. How about you feature something new and exciting and interesting and whatnot? And I went, new and exciting and interesting and whatnot? Well, that's my middle name. Which one? Oh yeah. So there we go. We're going to run that. Now, I'm going to run containers behind it, but I do want to be able to supply as many different materials as possible. So the temptation is to go a mix of Gundersons and hoppers, because that gets the job done. But as you saw, the loco's capable of 200 plus kilometers per hour. So I'm going to resist the temptation to do that, and I'm going to try and run something a little bit different. That said, I mean, how different can you get? Now these chaps will do 160. That's a rear, so that's a front. Now we're going to try and keep the length down to just below 400 meters. There you go. Yeah, see, this all looks very promising. What sort of capacity are we up to here? That's not bad. Right, that's 200, and then we'll put a rear on there as well. 360, and we've got a couple hundred meters spare to cover off, well, anything else, frankly. Grain, plastic, con mats, machines, tools, food, goods. So we're going to need hoppers of some description that can handle lumber. Am I missing any other end products? Cattle, you can't handle cattle. Oh, and oil. Oh, okay. Well, how many do these carry? They only do 120. I need something that does 160. Otherwise, this whole exercise has largely been redundant. There we go. Ha. Right, okay, so what do we like? Well, we like these, don't we? Yeah, I think we do. Okay, right, well, let's take a couple of these. We'll go with 1, 2, yeah, 3. Yeah, you're running out of space on your train here. And then one more of those. And then, to get us up to 400, we'll stick some hopper-type cars on there as well. Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. Well, we want 160 out of them, and you do 113, so you are not hired. No, you're all doing 120. Come on, there must be a 160 capable hopper here somewhere. I think the bathtub. No, it only does 120. Ah, here we go. Now that only carries 13, which is nowhere near enough. Now we're going back in time. Now, I mean, I'm not too bothered about hitting top speed, obviously, because I haven't got any wagons that are capable of over 200 kilometres an hour, so that's pretty much a given. But it would seem sensible to try and get some, at least. These Deutsche Bahn numbers would be terrific if they also carried, you know, coal, and yet they don't. They're probably because someone's gone, I'm going to make these realistic. You're going to go, great, good, yeah, realism exactly what we want. Practicality be damned. Make them realistic. You chaps will quite happily take... Alright, well that's additional materials. Logs, planks, crude oil and fuel. Right, we can get rid of these tankers then. Right, you can be gone. No, wait. No, you've ruined everything for all of us. Stick a tail ender on there. In fact, no, don't stick a tail ender on there. Stick a couple of these in. You all do the same thing. You only do 120. Well, we might be about to get over things having to do 160. I'm just saying. I think it was a beautiful dream, but now we've possibly moved on beyond that. Oh, that's a ruddy shame. It is, but it needs doing. Right, because we can't hang around just talking about wagons all day. I mean, that's like 30% of the series we've been doing that. Right, okay, let's fling a couple of them on there. One of these. Yeah, then stick the tail end on. And then we're just going to need some kind of hoppers to take care of anything that requires hopping. We'll stick one of those on as well. Okay, good. Because we love a Gunderson. The Gundersons do 160. Yeah, but I couldn't find a hopper to go with it, son. It's as simple as that. Right, and then I guess we're going to use the good old faithful bathtub gondola. Logs, coal, stone, steel, planks, slag. See, it's got a can-do attitude, and I approve of that. Right, okay. You're allowed one. Yeah, I think we can do a bit better than that. Let's get rid of a couple of these. Yeah, okay. And then what? Keep going till we're back to 400. There you go. That's 400. Okay, well that gives you 90 capacity for that kind of stuff. So we'll have two of these. Good. Right. Set your controls for Caprica, friends, and don't spare either the horses or the train. And then we'll go and wait at the junction for it to turn up in about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, here's your first look at this glamorous wee beastie. Well, it's quite a glamorous large beastie. Look at it. It's a hydrogen electric fusion train, allegedly. And it works just fine, providing you keep the elastic band wound up at all times. Yes. It is pretty good, though. So, I mean, as much as it's not going to hit its top speed, the one thing it does have going for it is really rather good acceleration. So we'll follow this along while it heads out to its its situation, to its route, to whatever it needs to head out to, and I'll skip forward until that point. Yes. So here we are, having arrived at Sherma. As you can see, it is on something of a slope, but that's okay. Our brakes are really, really good. Now, this is actually the second train. The first one arrived a few minutes ago. It's actually turned round already and is heading back in this direction. Now, that doesn't quite give us perfect spacing, but it's not a bad place to start. How much have you picked up here, Tiger? 72, 73, 18. That's certainly within the realms of acceptability, and it's now going to trundle down the track here, which we'll ride along with. Despite the fact that actually riding along this particular line is going to be very dull indeed, given how much of it resides underneath a mountainside. Well, you can't have it all. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll intercept the other train as well, and when that reaches Shermer, I'll hold it until this train is just about to arrive at its destination. So if I jump off now, which was a terrible move. Hold on, we've got that one. There we go, we've got this one as well. Because having them spaced out relatively evenly should allow both to kind of maximise the amount of money they make. So we're topping out at 113, which I imagine is going to be due to one of the wagons we've got in there. And the autosave has come to save our bacon once again. We must all give thanks to autosave and its merry men for the job that is done throughout the series in preventing disaster from occurring more often than it has done as a result of my own foolhardiness. But there it is. There's a good amount of business going on here. Look, there you go. You got a scepter coming in. You had a train going the other way there, and that's lovely. That's exactly what you want to see. Now, what I've noticed already is that the incoming mainline freight trains are already dropping stuff off for me to take the other way. They're particularly keen on me hauling slag for some reason. One can only assume that I've got a Conmats factory down the other end somewhere. But we'll have an investigation and see what transpires, because there's a good chance that I'm going to need to up some truck usage. Oh, look at all the plastic we just dropped off. Oh, that's very good. Well, that's actually going to change up the main line itself quite dramatically. As I've often mentioned, the most interesting thing that happens is every time you route just one new thing onto the main line, it can completely change the complexion of how all the trains pick up goods from that station from there on in. And I'm pretty certain that Shermer did not have plastics being dropped off here previously, and also that I don't think slag was big business for this particular station either. So changing that up means that obviously trains are now going to be loading different things when they get to the station, but more than that, they're going to be able to drop other stuff off, which means that there'll be a knock-on effect for every other station that is either side of Shermer. Exactly how this transpires, I don't know. You've stopped. You've literally just turned round. So if we stop you now, and we'll wait till this one reverses, then we should have pretty good spacing for the two of them. I might just give this one, I don't know, 10-15 second head start and see how we get on. But hey, look, I mean, you can't knock a little bit of new versus old here for a view. Smashing. I'm not even entirely sure where this train, whose name I have already forgotten, I'm not entirely sure which country of origin it is, but it is, I mean, we're in the future. You wanted something futuristic looking. Voila! Futuristic looking is what you got. Right, this looks like we're about to set off down here. There you go, you're away. I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you a shake to get underway. I've got a junction in there, haven't I? Yeah, I've got a crossover. Alright, that's good. Right, okay, kill that off. Get this rolling. Yeah, I may well have got that rolling at a time when it was allowed to run right alongside another freight train. That was no coincidence. But you can see already the rather splendid acceleration that the modern number has compared to this heavy diesel that we're running. I mean, they're both heading uphill. I tell you, next season there will be none of this uphill freight route business, any more than one small nudge of uphill. We won't be going steeply uphill, I tell you that for nothing. Helixes are in our future. We do like to watch it go past, though. It's a fine sight, one we can all believe in. Right, okay, and the next train's already arriving. What are you packing? Well, we've got more slag there, so that's probably going to head out down to Caprica. The question is, whatever else is going to turn up. So we've got a little bit of brick, stone, beg your pardon, and some slag already waiting. So clearly the construction materials route down there is proving popular. What else have you got for me? So when we unload here, as we certainly will in a moment, it's unloading very slowly. No, that all wants to go on gondola spinward. Well, you're going spinward. Aren't you, in fact, a gondola spinward? You're dropping this off just to be... You're dropping that off just to be picked up by the next train. That's most unorthodox. Oh well, it is what it is, I suppose. Good. Yeah, I'd love to know what you think. Oh no, now you're picking it back up again. All right, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was a truck that was picking that up. Can't rule it out. Anyway, it's got a full loaded. I mean, it's hard to say whether the full effect of the new route is actually being felt yet, because sometimes, well, when you pick up a piece of freight, it already knows its destination. So this stone obviously already has a new home to go to. It needs a little bit more brewing time, I fancy, to find out what's going to happen there. What are we bringing back? We got some steel, plastic, and some corn as well. Okay. All right. Fine. Now, where's that going to end up? If we turn on, and brace yourselves, there you go. If we turn that on, we'll get a feel for it. Now, we can take... Oh, there is oil waiting. I wonder if we're taking that with us. Nope. Stone and corn and slag. Train 150 needs replacing. Well, that's a freight Gunderson Widdershins. We've already got a replacement set for that. I'm sure it'll be able to figure it out when it next arrives at a station. So you don't need my interference there at all. Unless, of course, I've told it just to sit and wait. That's very possible. In which case, you'll have caused quite the queue. Have you caused quite... There does appear to be a modicum of queuing taking place at the moment. Ah. You may well are. How about you unpause? You get back in motion there, friendo. We've caused ourselves a nose-to-tail situation. Oh, no. How long's that been waiting? Well, it's been waiting since you bought those freight trains, and so it's probably 2 years... worth... Oh, no! 2 years worth of queuing gondolas. And these chaps as well. Oh, dear. Yes, oh, dear is the word. Let's follow this round, see how many we can find. Now, obviously, they'll have kicked off into motion, or they'll be about to. There's another one, look. But that's running empty. Now, the good news is that the far side is going to have an awful lot of stuff waiting. The bad news, however, is that these chaps are going to run empty for a bit, some of them, because, see, look, there's the next one, and as soon as we pass a set of signals, there should be, look, there's another one. Now, for those of you who said I should put more trains on the main line, I have. There's a lot of trains on the main line. See, look, that's a train on the main, and so's that. Okay, now then, what else have we got? That can't possibly be it. Well, it could. Maybe I didn't. No, here's another one. He's waiting. Okay, right, fine. just see his nose in the tunnel there. But then it looks like we're all clear. Okay. So there should be some Widdershins trains still out here. I apologise for the rapid camera movement, but it has piqued my interest, and therefore we are having a look. To see if there are any others that have not been afflicted by my having stopped a train in the centre of the track. Oh, hold on, what are you? There you go, there's a Widdershins, and that's not the one that we were just looking at, so... okay, a bit of disruption, certainly, but is it the end of the world? No more than it ever is. Right, now, let's go and have a look and see how we're getting on at Caprica. This has had enough time now to start bedding in. And let's have a look. So we've got a truck route here going out to Frobos. It's got 200 odd waiting, and then Supplying to the Tomb of Horrors has got absolutely loads waiting. Now, how many trucks am I running on there? Oh, well, a few. Well, let's set you to auto-replace while we're in the area, because I recall I didn't bother doing that last time. I quite often like that it reminds me first time around that I've not yet set up replacements, because it jogs my memory to actually go and have a look. Right, incoming. Here we go. Right, you're not going to make an awful lot of money, are you? No, boss. I'm not bringing very much, so that seems unlikely. There's some oil. That's good. I wonder what else. Is that going to get turned? No, that's not. That's processed oil. So that's ready for end delivery, presumably. Is it? Frobos Caprica. What do we make at Frobos? Plastics, presumably. I couldn't tell you. Well, you should be able to. You've built this thing. I mean, no. I built this in a very organic fashion so that we could just watch and see the world develop as time went on. Did you? Yes. That's my story. Right, okay, Frobos Caprica. What have we got going up there? We've got 2 trucks on there at the moment. I think at least one more might be a good plan. Because if we don't haul enough, another couple, please. If we don't haul enough, then it's going to stall the deliveries on the train, and we want to, that. I mean, if we can't get it to break even, then it's going to struggle to make any kind of money at all. And running back now, we're taking 39 items of freight, where you've got a capacity in excess of, well, if not in excess of, certainly pushing 400. And that's far from ideal. Right, let's bang another couple of trucks on this number. What do you want? More of the same, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Set that on Frobos. Horrors, not Frobos. Supply Horrors. Atlantis? No. Caprica. There you go. Really, you go up to Atlantis as well, do you? Intriguing. Okay, all right. Well, there you go. So that's operational, and how operational and how much this ends up generating for us is it rather remains to be seen. But I really quite like these. I mean, there's kind of matching loops going on here. I mean, if anything, you could argue that it was deliberate. Well, it was deliberate in that I laid it out that way. Is it deliberate in the sense of I designed this to have two looping sections? No, it's not. But who knows what it may manifest as. Anyway, that's your lot. That's it. We're done. The series is complete. The live stream will be largely a your request, all request live stream. And whether that's looking at stuff we've run before or flinging a new train up or something along those lines, that's certainly doable. And I invite you to come along and pay attention forthwith. And then I'm on vacation for a couple of weeks, so I'm going to take a couple of weeks off before spooling up the next series. And I've got a cunning scheme for the next series that is both scheme-like and cunning. And I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. I'll talk about the main line as a concept during the stream, so I'll leave it up there. Flipping heck, that's a lot of stone. I'll leave it up once it's done, so you can review that even if you can't make it live. I've been Colonel Failure. I'm looking for something to watch to run us out. And it really should be something mainline-ish. And I'll tell you what, it's Shermer, because that's where we started. This was the first station we got going, and now here it is doing its thing. If we're very lucky, we'll catch a bit of passenger train action as well, and I can see one coming. So there you go. That's it. We're done. The main line is complete. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and fling a like at this if you enjoyed the series. I'll catch up with you very soon. Thanks for watching. Cheerio. So, the main line was always a concept rather than a fully thought out notion. It was supposed to run for about 30 episodes to figure out if you were to route all of your goods onto a single line, would you end up with a incredibly profitable and simple to use system? The answer is Not really, no. If you were to use Naffy's wagons, you'd probably make a good fist out of it. But the upshot really is that it doesn't quite work. 3 out of the 4 lines that I ran didn't really make a profit. The 4th line made plenty of money. Lovely job. It certainly moved the goods around and activated a whole lot of industries. But I think dedicated lines are the way to go. I think we probably knew that 20 episodes ago. But it's been very good fun kind of fleshing this out and putting it together again. Anyway, you've got a live stream to come and then a tour of the main line as the last video. The next series will be along in a couple of weeks' time. I'm taking a quick break and then I shall return. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss that, obviously.